I secretly moved out of the house because I could no longer handle my family.
You can't handle the truth or your family.
You can't handle the truth.
So I, 26 female, my sister, 23 female, have been bullied by our parents for most of our lives.
Why you bullying me?
Once my brother, 20 male, was born, our parents have always favored him. Okay? By the way, this comes from Sassy Redhead 234.
Ooh.
And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So we knew they always wanted a boy. Many people in our lives, including family, friends, and even family members, would confront them on their treatment of us. So it was so bad that they got confronted. My father would stay silent while my mother would scream and defend herself, telling them that my sister and I were horrible. We knew that anytime they talked about us, it was never good. Yikes. When it came to my brother, it was always about him, talking about his achievements as if he was the best thing since sliced bread. Now, I never held that against my brother. No one can control the actions of others. We all actually bonded from the ridiculousness of our parents, which is good.
Okay, that's good.
As he got older, he would see their treatment towards us, where he would call if they ever had an episode when going after my sister and I would have to step in. Growing up, my mother prioritized chores in the house instead of my education. I would have to vacuum the house top to bottom. That's crazy. Prioritizing chores over education is kind of nuts.
Bro's got a degree in making it shine.
I would have to make dinner, do dishes, walk the dog, collect the trash, clean the kitchen, etc. before I could even get started on my homework.
Ooh.
My grades suffered. The only thing I could go to that would give me joy was choir. They would attend some of my events, but if my brother had even just a football practice, they would prioritize that over my one choir event. My aunt and grandparents would be there instead because they knew they weren't being fair to me. Even when I was going to trade school and working 2 jobs, they were trying to charge me rent because I wasn't doing chores anymore since I was gone from 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. in the morning from working so hard. The last straw was last year in August. My parents let me stay in their house after COVID since my job was affected, so I stayed with them to save money to get back on my feet. I knew there were no strings attached if I did, but I accepted it. Now, my parents live in an old home built back in the 1800s, so there are a lot of electrical issues with the home. We had to have an electrician come to change the wattage of the electrical output so it would be safer for the home, I guess, so it doesn't burn down or whatever.
Oh, boy.
So that summer, the washer and dryer in the basement stopped working if you ran both of them at the same time. The dryer was new. My mother was trying to say that since she just got the dryer, then the washer has to be broken because like only one of them was working at the same time. So she said in order for my sister and I to use the new washer, she would charge us $200 to cover the new washer. I don't know about that. I asked her if it was really a new washer that was needed or if it was just the outlet that needed to be looked at since the washer was still working. Something in her snapped. She yelled at me from the top of her lungs, accusing me of thinking I know everything, how I think I'm a know-it-all, and that not everything I say is right. When she calmed down a bit, she turned and asked, "So have you found a new place to move yet?" I just told her I was still looking, but what she didn't know is that I had already put a deposit on an apartment and would be moving in that month.
Good.
I decided at that moment I wasn't going to tell her. So OP is sick and tired of the parents prioritizing and golden childing the brother and yelling at them. So OP's moving out.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why.
I arranged to have my brother and boyfriend at the time help me move my stuff while my mom went to coach lacrosse and my dad was at work. We only had a 2-hour window, so as soon as my mom left the house, I went to the closest U-Haul and packed up all my belongings and left. The rest of my family was very supportive of my decision and even placed bets on how long it would take for them to notice I moved. For context, I had left for a week to go to Kansas City, and my mom thought I was home the entire time, so we didn't think they would notice. To our surprise, my dad did notice, but not until he went into my room to look for something. Still don't know what he went in there to look for, but whatever. And to this day, my dad has reached out, but only to wish me happy birthday or happy holidays. My mother has not talked to me at all since moving out. My family says I did the right thing for getting out, but my brother and sister think I should reach out to them. Am I the a-hole? There are some edits, and there definitely are some updates. And also, it was so bad that all the family members, like the extended family and friends, would be like,
I can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe you're treating your kids like this.
Yeah.
So is OP the a-hole?
I'm going to say absolutely not.
Yeah.
Parents have different styles. Like some people do the classic, like, oh, you charge your kid rent and then give it back to them when they move out and that kind of stuff. But just the way that it's clear from the breakdown and context that we got, the sibling is the golden child, OP is not, and is chopped liver.
Truth.
The question I think the parents are doing a little bit of this, being horses.
Mm-hmm.
But can you lead a horse to water and have them drink?
I guess we'll find out.
Hey now.
You're an all-star. Edit. I forgot to mention that after she yelled at me about thinking I knew everything, my sister texted me 2 days later saying that they sold that washer. So it confirmed what I already thought, which was the washer was never broken in the first place. They just wanted a new one and for us to pay for it. So we got some comments. Comment 1, not the ale. Your parents are toxic. Your father is toxic for just sitting there with no backbone to just let your mother walk all over him and just enables her behavior. Your mother is a classic textbook narcissist. If your sister and brother feel that way, then they are more than welcome to reach out to her, but you have no obligation to that woman, and I use that term loosely. Nope, he replied, thank you for making me feel less crazy. And comment 2, how close are you to your sister? Are you in a position to help her get out of that house too? And OP replied, I have tried, but she has always had a sinister side to her. She has adopted a lot of the traits that my mom has. For example, if she woke up and was late to school, I would drive her in, but if I needed her to drive me somewhere, she would say that's not my problem. That's lame.
Whack.
She isn't talking to anyone on my mom's side of the family or me because of an incident that I will be putting in another Reddit story. Oh no, not 2 Reddit stories worth.
Whole catalog.
It's odd because they started bullying her a little later after my mom took her out of cheerleading just because my mom didn't get along with one of the moms. Her grades started slipping after going from honor roll to C's and D's, but a lot of her problems are also self-inflicted. So she wants my parents' attention knowing she is going to lose people in the process. Sad. Comment 3, I'm so glad you're out, not the a-hole. I hope your sister can also escape. And OP replied, I don't think she will. Even though she was bullied and still is being bullied by them, she is trying whatever she can to get their approval, even if it means she loses her friends and family in the process. And comment number 4, not the a-hole. The best revenge is to go live. The best revenge is to go live on OK Storytime. Not the a-hole. The best revenge is to go live a good life without them. I would cut all contact with both parents and probably the sister as well. Then get some therapy if you can. And OP replied, my sister has decided to cut ties with everyone except my parents. Whoa. But that is another Reddit story for another time. I currently have a huge help moving forward, plus to support my boyfriend and the rest of my extended family and friends. Thank you so much for your support, Reddit. But there is an update.
Ooh.
There is an update. But yeah, all of the information I've got, OP is not the a-hole from distancing themselves from their terrible parents.
Yeah. Do we go back in and try to do a rescue mission for the sister? It seems like she's a little woefully misguided, maybe just falling into the trap.
The parent trap?
The parent trap?
Yeah.
Is it worth it to save her?
I don't know. But it seems like she's addicted to the attention and maybe was trying. Like I felt like there was some undertones of her sliding OP to get more attention. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if that's a battle OP needs to fight.
Because it's like, okay, I could go and say this to you, but is any of it going to be received? Is it going to be, if you've already cut off all the people in your life, if you've already gone that hard in the paint?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if I can save you.
I don't know, but we got a little bit more. So an update. My mother had always been vocal about what her sister did to her when they were younger, how she stole her identity, and when my aunt got caught by the cops, and how she was the mean girl at school, bullying a lot, etc. What I heard was horrible. When she became a mother and getting involved in her community, she went through a change. What mattered the most to her was to make sure her family knew a healthy family unit. She even apologized to my mother for what she did when she was younger. So it's like this aunt that actually is providing support for OP now was pretty terrible in childhood. With that, my mother didn't forgive her. Instead, decided to slowly reduce contact. Ever since I was young, I remember everything my mother told me about her. My siblings and I were even convinced that our aunt wanted nothing more than to one-up our mother. If my mother wanted to host Thanksgiving at her house, my aunt would say she couldn't make it. If we had a game close to where they lived, said she couldn't make it. I was even convinced that for a bit my aunt was trying to break my sister away from us because she took my sister out for her birthday one time. We really started looking at her negatively when her husband fell into eternal sleep, my uncle, because of bone marrow cancer. And our mother would constantly tell us about how she clearly was faking the tears at the funeral.
What? Faking?
Bad.
That's crazy.
None of it looked good. So we all only would get information from our mother because we didn't want to get in the middle of that. We didn't want the drama. Years later, I started asking a lot more questions about things that had happened in the past. I didn't ask my aunt just yet, but I did ask my grandparents about past events that had happened between my mother and aunt. Turned out half of the things she told us weren't even true. So she's been lying, this whole time.
She was lying?
Yeah.
Who could have predicted it?
Yeah, but I guess, we started out the story with a bunch of terrible things from the mom. I think now all of this is coming to light. So I think OP is just realizing the extent of the deceit.
Digging deeper.
They did confirm some of the stories, but even the stories they confirmed weren't the whole truth. That's when I started talking more to my aunt and my cousins. I would drive to my aunt's when I could. My cousin was also having a baby soon, so I wanted to support them however I could. In my time there, I found out a lot more information about what was happening over the years, including what happened between her and my uncle before he passed. Before they found out about the diagnosis, he had been abusing prescription substances. He was a tough military man and only made the anger worse with substances. My siblings and I have witnessed the behavior, so I started to connect the dots, always putting my aunt down and the boys. She would take the brunt of the mental abuse so her 3 boys wouldn't hear any of the things he was saying. Then one day, he told her he was done, that he didn't care about her anymore, that he didn't care about the boys either. He wanted to leave and wouldn't care what the boys thought. She was done trying to help him, told him that if that's how he truly felt, then he should get his things, but not to tell the boys any of what he was saying. They agreed to go through with divorce. Fate would then soon have it, as they soon agreed to separate, that my uncle would get the cancer diagnosis, and the cancer was already so far, and he only had a few months to live. I wonder if he knew about that earlier.
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe he was like, hey, I need to prioritize myself, and I'm just going to dip on all my familial responsibilities to, I don't know.
Because the aunt,
put it all on rent in Vegas.
Back in the day was bad, but now she's kind of gone through this transformation, right? So.
But now she has this piece of crap husband.
Yeah.
We're getting some backstory here.
Yeah, this is some good tea. This is some good tea.
I think we're understanding why everyone is the way they are. For the boys' sake, my aunt agreed to have uncle stay at the house. She would take care of him until his last days so the boys would have better memories with their father. In that time, that's when my aunt met her now boyfriend. He would come to tune the piano at their house, and after getting to know each other, decided to make it official that they were dating a bit after my uncle's passing. That's a little complicated. When my uncle passed away and the funeral happened, our family got wind about her new boyfriend already. My mother went to see my aunt about how she needs to think about how she feels about all of this, that they are mourning and how it's about her feelings. And my aunt not only stayed with my uncle and took care of him while he was sick, but she also had to live in the same house as when my uncle fell into eternal sleep. My cousins had to live in the same house that their father fell into eternal sleep. They lived it every day, yet it was about how my mother felt about it. But I feel like the mother's how do I feel about you meeting this piano tuner so soon after? But I don't know. This is interesting backstory. She told her this, but my mom has always loved to make a situation about herself. I also found out every time she said she couldn't make it to an event, it was because my mom would tell her that they couldn't come because it was a private family event for school. When it came to hosting parties, my mother would never ask if she could host that year and would just tell her 2 days before the event. She had all the recipes, even when my sister had tried to remove from this plane herself. I was the only person that visited her in the hospital. But the reason, my mother had told everyone else that hospital was not accepting visitors. Oh.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so basically, the mother is just like forcibly removing the aunt from everything by lying.
Dude, we gotta get mom locked up or something. She's a hazard.
For years, I thought my family on both sides were absolutely crazy. Now I've come to find out that they were the thing I needed all along. I've missed them so much, and I'm so happy that I'm looking at all the facts now. As for my parents, they have cut contact with most family members on both sides. I've even lost a few friends along the way. Now have even lost a daughter. My siblings are choosing to stay blind, which now begs the question, is my mother the a-hole for not forgiving my aunt for childhood drama? And there are some comments, but I mean, I definitely think your mom is the a-hole.
Yes, because the familyhood drama in question her getting with the piano tuner,
and also the drama of childhood as well.
Got you. So there was maybe some other stuff. Okay.
There's because remember the aunt was completely like ragging on OP's mom for most of childhood. It was pretty bad when growing up, but then had a change of heart later in life.
Yeah, it's to say like, oh, don't go to the hospital. There's no visitors at the hospital. Stuff like that is crazy. That is untenable behavior.
Unfathomable. Untenable. What does the guy say in Princess Bride? Inconceivable.
It's very inconceivable.
But we got some comments and an update. So your mother is entitled to going low contact / no contact with her sister if she can't get over the events that happened when they were younger. That said, it doesn't give her the right to spread false rumors and outright lies about her sister or her family or prevent you and your siblings from seeing them. I think I completely agree. It sounds like your mom makes everything about herself, and you're more than entitled to cut the toxicity out of your life and go low contact / no contact with her as well. And update 2, my sister got instant karma when trying to take attention away from my cousin's wedding.
Oh, this is like a whole other story. It sounds like.
Yeah, but it's a continuation. So my cousin, 23 male, was getting married to his now wife a few months ago. When I was asked to make their wedding cake for this special day, I was so honored. My mother, on the other hand, was furious about it, so much so that her and my father decided to not come to the wedding. That's crazy. Because I was going to be there, even though they were not going to be there, my sister and brother, 20 male, said they would go to the wedding. Knowing how my sister was with being places on time, I asked my brother beforehand if he wanted my boyfriend and I to pick him up. He would later regret declining this offer. Foreshadowing. Fast forward to the wedding day. We get there an hour early to help with anything else before the ceremony, and I texted my brother to see how far away they were. He texted back frustrated since they hadn't even left yet. Right before the ceremony was about to start, my sister pulled up, disrupting the wedding party that was getting lined up in the back. Thankfully, the rest of the wedding went off without a hitch, but I started hearing some weird whispers about my sister. Whisper. My grandmother informed me that she was going around telling everyone about her going back to school. Now, you would think this was completely harmless, but if you know my sister, you know she was trying to start something. She wasn't just telling people that she was going back to school. She was also not telling people the name of the school she was going back to because she was throwing a college reveal party to announce her school of choice in the coming weeks.
Okay.
It's University of Michigan.
Okay, maybe you can get a couple of different hats with universities and pick. You can do that if you're an athlete, but a reveal party?
Where does that stack in proposing at someone else's wedding? Telling people about your college reveal party.
I mean, college reveal party is college reveal party is just stupid. Proposing at the wedding is like
smartest thing you could do.
Yes.
Yep.
I better see at this college reveal party, I better see letters of other colleges denying you, and then we get to the one where they accept you.
Yeah, we have to do like the whole draft readout.
Yeah,
right?
I want to build up. I want to build up.
Yeah.
I want to build up, and then I want chat to choose the college that you attend.
Dude,
Live
that's
stream
crazy.
Dude. Chat. If I had you back in my college days, that would be so funny to do an admissions opening thing and let chat vote which college you go to. Chat decides your life.
That's crazy.
Wait, Sam, I had a crazy live stream idea. Imagine your dad came into your life for the first time and you did a 48-hour live stream for 48 hours straight where he teaches you to fix your tire on your car, shave, all the dad things, throw catch, everything for 48 hours straight.
That sounds so wholesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
I would totally do that. You
Yeah,
know,
dude,
that
that sounds
would bang
cute.
so hard.
That would bang.
It
That
would
bang.
go crazy.
But we got some more to this story. So
So,
she didn't get the reaction she wanted out of anyone. She told and only invited my other cousin, the groom's brother, and his fiance to the party. She didn't even invite my cousin whose wedding it was. Before she left, she pulled my brother aside in her car and whined about how no one cared about her announcement. He came back after she drove away and told my boyfriend and I what happened. I was pissed. We didn't let it ruin the night, though, and had an amazing night. Now, you might be saying to yourself, this doesn't sound like karma too much to me. And you're right.
Doesn't sound like karma too much to me.
The karma happened the day of the party.
Ooh.
A week later, I saw on my sister's Instagram that she had announced her college. It looked like a nice party that was put together, which made me a bit sad since my parents never did anything like that for me. Only my siblings had the big graduation parties and birthdays, so I called up my aunt for comfort, but boy, was I right to call her at that moment. Remember my cousin that got invited? Well, he wasn't able to make it since he is in the military and got called for last minute for training, so his fiance went in place to represent since he already told her he would make it. She got to the house at 4 p.m., the time she was told the party was going to start. There was no one to be found. The house did not look ready for a party. There was nothing indicating there was anything going on at the house. My mother then comes out to see Angie, fake name, out front, trying to figure out what to do. She goes up to her with a sour expression, interrogating her about why she was there, and this is the convo.
Can we change the
Mom,
name?
who are you? Angie, I'm here for sister's college announcement party. Mom, how do you know my sister? Angie, I'm your nephew's fiance. I was invited by sister to come. She rolls her eyes and walks away from her. Angie is still confused because she was never invited inside. She walked up to the front door that was cracked, letting herself in, where my sister finally came down to greet her. She takes her into her kitchen to find the food still wasn't ready for the party. So my sister puts Angie right to work, having her help with putting all the food together that was supposed to be ready at 4. The rest of the night went as expected. The party didn't start until 2 hours after the original time. Nothing was organized, and my sister only had our one female cousin, Lisa, and Angie there as her guests. Everyone else was just neighbors or friends of my parents. The entire night was spent about my mother talking about herself and my dad sitting quietly, just letting her ramble on. The whole night, my mother was making Angie feel uncomfortable and unwelcome. Lame. She decided to head out around 6:30 since she didn't even know anyone there. And she goes around to say her goodbyes to everyone before leaving. And then my mother then takes this opportunity to corner her in the house with no one there and give her advice on what she should do with the family going forward, telling her that she should cut off the entire family because that is what her and my dad did. And they had never been happier. How are you going to tell someone to cut off their entire family?
Dude, I also love the like, oh, you're a stranger, just cut off your family. Like, no context. Just like, just get them out of there. It's great. Just have no family.
Yeah, that's wild. Like,
Including, hey,
you know
don't
what
marry my
made me
nephew.
happy? Just completely cutting off everyone I know and love.
Yeah. Yeah, go one step
It
further.
was great.
You want to marry my nephew to have him family? No, cut him off.
Cut
Just
him
cut him
off.
It's going to be great.
It's gonna be great. You know, they you know what Buddha says? Attachment is the thief of joy.
Get unattached.
Get unattached. Cut off everything,
Mm-hmm.
and you will be happy. Desire is suffering. Attachment is suffering.
Ooh.
But we got get you attached to this story, so we're gonna keep reading.
Hey, yo.
Telling her she should have the wedding at their house instead of my aunt's. How she didn't do wedding cakes much, but she would for her. Angie said she would keep all of that in mind, running out of the house as soon as she could. So party pics were just smoke and mirror to what had really happened. My sister didn't get the day she wanted about her. Now I can remind myself that my family can no longer plan successful parties without me in their lives, since I was always the one who organized everything. So does that make me petty? Sure. But I know our potato queen would be proud. Update, holy crap, I did not expect this to blow up like it did. Thank you to everyone who has given me well wishes and support. You all have been asking for an update, and boy, do I have one. I posted this to get a few opinions before I met with my sister for dinner. I had told her that since we weren't invited to the party, I would take her out for drinks and celebrate the news. To be honest, I really just wanted to hear what happened at the party. I also received a call from my brother the next day after the incident to catch up. I don't know how the convo got to this, but we had started talking about the party. Without me even asking, unprovoked, he told me he was taking my mom's side on the whole thing.
Whoa.
I asked him why, and he just said it didn't sound like something she would say or do. Mind you, most of our conversation before bringing this up was him complaining about everything she was doing at the house while he was back from school. This is how I shut him down. Me. So explain why you're taking her side again? Brother, I just don't think mom would pull her aside and say all that stuff. I don't know. I guess you don't know mom. Me, you spent a majority of this conversation about how she's been manipulating you about fixing your car, how she's been telling you you can't work on your own car that's under your name, and how they aren't helping you with something that's their fault. Brother, yeah, but what Angie said just doesn't sound like what mom would say. Me, so you were there for their private conversation? Brother, well, no, it just sounds like something they wouldn't say. Me, you can't sit here and complain to me about her ever again then if you honestly think that this is something she would never say. You have now lost all right to complain about the crazy things she says. He got silent. I explained that I really didn't care about what was said because I wasn't there. I cared more about keeping in contact with him because that's the relationship I chose to keep after no contact with my parents. He understood, and we left it at that. Now on to dinner. So my boyfriend picked me up after he was done with work. I prepped him in the car about my sister's behavior, telling him about if the conversation isn't something she started or is interested in talking about, then she will either steer the conversation to something else entirely or just take her phone out and not pay attention, which is a freaking terrible move.
Such a whack move.
It was going to be a lot of complaining. Before we agreed to meet up for dinner, my sister had asked what time and if the place was closer to where she worked so she could make it on time. I picked an old spot I used to work at that I knew she had been at before. We agreed to meet there at 9:45. This will be important later. At 9:25, I got a call right after I had finished explaining my sister's behavior to my boyfriend. It was my sister asking how far away we were. I was confused because she was annoyed, making it sound like she was already at the restaurant. I said, we're going to get there at the agreed time. It's 9:25 now, so we'll get there in 20 minutes as agreed. She said she would just get a table while she waited and hung up. So we get there and the parking lot is mostly empty with a few cars in the back. We had a perfect spot in front. We started to head inside and one of the waitresses was outside smoking. She told us that they were closed for food for the night, so it's only drinks. We were hungry, so we said we would go talk to my sister about it when we got inside. When we got in, she was nowhere to be found. I thought she might be in the bathroom, so I called her. When she answered, she told us she wasn't there yet. She said that she couldn't find parking. I told her the change of plans, so even though there was like hella parking, just meet us at the restaurant I knew down the road. I told my boyfriend what was going on, and he was so mad. Why did she call us? Why did she make it sound like she was here already? I didn't have an answer for him because she's a dirty liar. We got there and she got there before us. We sat down and caught up for a bit, talking about work, school, and family issues. She, just like my brother, complained about our mother the majority of the conversation. Everyone's freaking complaining. Talking about how she didn't help at all during the party, how she made it all about herself. Not once about how proud they were she was going back to school. I don't know. I don't feel that much sympathy for you because you were trying to steal all of the attention from someone's wedding by talking about your college release party.
Yeah, is this the same sister that cut everyone off?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think this is OP's sister.
Right.
So there's OP's mom that cut off like the family and it's like, I've never been happier. And then there's OP's sister. And then there's OP's brother.
Yeah.
And OP's brother is kind of like golden child. OP's sister wants the attention from their parents.
Right.
I believe.
Yeah, and OP's just done with it.
And OP's just done with it and it's like kind of like taking a step back.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if we go it's definitely not no contact. Like the sister hasn't done anything like directly super inflammatory, but I wonder if it's just like this bro's trying to sip his go-go juice over there. Oh God. I'm not comfortable with your tongue in something orange like that. But to put some meat on it, like, do we think he should go like basically no contact with the sister? It seems like she's falling in the same like footsteps as the mom and the brother. Like, I don't know that it's fruitful to like be the one to initiate. I don't know.
Yeah, and get it in the middle of this. I don't know. I feel like
would you want to hang out with someone if they were doing this when you're trying to like link up?
No, probably not.
It's not fun.
It just it feels like princess vibes,
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got a little bit more. So then, like a machine, it sounded as if it was a reheated
Redhead?
Look. Then what is that?
ARSE is
You got it.
arse, so rehearsed.
That's so funny.
Then, like a machine, it sounded as if it was rehearsed, looked at me and said, I don't know what your opinion on it is, but I'm taking mom's side on what happened. It sounded exactly like what my brother said. And if it was rehearsed, it's almost robotic. I had a similar conversation, almost identical to what I had with my brother. Since she knew she didn't have an argument there, she then tried to make it seem like the rest of the family was bullying her. I asked why she thought that, and this was the conversation. Sister, when I posted stuff on Instagram and Facebook, no one responded to it. Maybe because it's not engaging enough, bro. I didn't get any congrats or anything. Me. So even though you told them about it and didn't invite them to the party, you expected them to be ecstatic about your announcement? Sister, I didn't invite them out of respect for mom and dad since it was their house. Me, then have it in a park or something. Why did it have to be in mom and dad's if you wanted everyone to be there? Plus, you were telling everyone at our cousin's wedding. You didn't think that was rude or that people weren't going to think that was weird?
Dude, recruiting people for your event at someone's wedding.
Yeah, that's a bad taste. Bad taste.
Golly.
Sister, well, Grammy and Pappy didn't say anything about it. I'm more mad at them. Me, Grammy is literally off the grid right now, camping before her knee surgery. She has no access to the internet, and Pappy is busy winterizing the cabin and making appointments for Grammy's knee surgery. They don't have the time or the technology right now to respond to something they weren't even invited to in the first place.
I'm sorry, but the side plot of the grandparents is hilarious. Bro, she's camping before. Why would
We're getting
you camp?
so much detail.
Dude, why would you camp before your knee surgery?
Because it's your last time to like camp before your knees go away.
Oh
I actually
God.
think it's solid logic.
That's so funny.
She got quiet and just like clock, comma work, jumped right on her phone. I told her I was there for her as her older sister, but I can't condone the behavior of our parents. That's why I wanted to congratulate her with drinks and food. I still want to have a good relationship with my siblings. She wasn't having it and just said, well, I have to go anyway. You're taking care of this, right? Pointing at the food in front of her. Wow. My boyfriend and I just look at each other and I said, yes, we got it. Gave her a hug and she left us still sitting at the table with the frickin' bill. My boyfriend was exhausted and he didn't even talk during the dinner, which was a good move, honestly. We got back to the car and all he said was, that was the most exhausting conversation I've ever sat in on. But if you want less exhausting conversations and just fun, beautiful, goofy conversations, you should listen to our podcast, OK Storytime, by searching OK Storytime wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Go check it out.
That's something you can sit on.
This morning, I got a text from my aunt letting me know that my sister blocked everyone. I checked to see if I was included in the block party, and sure enough, I was. She had only blocked my one account, though, and not my second, which is why I knew I was blocked and not that she deleted her account like she has done before. I was disappointed with her decision. My aunt tried to comfort me, but I told her she didn't have to. My sister will just contact me back when she needs money from me. Even if that does happen, I've decided to go no contact with my sister as well. I feel bad for my brother still stuck in the situation until he finishes college, but I also think he hasn't come to his senses yet. I'm just going to keep living my life with my amazing boyfriend and my mom's side of the family that I had lost for so long. Oh, and to give you an update on Angie, her and my cousin just asked if I could help with the wedding and make the cake for them.
Hey.
They just moved in together and I couldn't have been more happy for them. Thank you all for the well wishes. And we do have some comments.
Cousin Angie, huh?
Cousin Angie. We got some comments and a reply from OP, but what do you think about OP going low contact / no contact with the sister?
I think OP should not talk to any of these people. The one thing that OP should follow in her mom's footsteps of is cutting off ties with family. Low contact, contact, not no contact, but don't initiate trying to hang out with these people. Don't, all of these events and these college parties and these dinners and stuff, like, I'm sorry, okay, you know what? I'm going to say this and I'm going to mean it and I'm not going to take it back. Anyone who has a college announcement party, instant no contact.
Yeah.
Instant no contact.
Ick.
Big ick.
Big ick.
Big ick. Not even like it's not even a graduation party. Like a high school graduation party or like a college graduation party. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But the announcement that you're going to college is like, I don't know.
Hey guys, we're going to X college.
I guess like getting into college, you can have a getting into college
do it
party.
like, yeah, I'm actually completely walking back now because I feel like a part of the graduation party is like,
You
and
got
they're
into
going
this.
to blah, 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 you know, they'll give you the freaking flag and like whatever else, you know, like
yeah.
it's kind of baked into the graduation party. So maybe
But like I
you
feel
think
like
about
all right, but like I feel like you have parties for finishing a job, not starting a job. You know, like you have retirement parties, but you don't have like I started a new job party, you know?
but why not?
Or I got like a cool new job party. I guess maybe people
Sometimes
go
you
out
go
for
to dinner
drinks.
and celebrate.
Yeah. But you don't
Yeah.
have a party. You go out for like drinks or dinner.
Yeah, it's more of like a one-on-one close people celebration.
Close circle.
And
Yeah.
like a woo college,
Yeah.
you know.
And
Yeah.
you flash everyone. You don't do that.
I don't know. I flash people. When I got this job, John was flashed every day.
Oh yeah.
But we got some comments. So, wow. Talk about main character syndrome. Also, what the heck is a college reveal party?
That's what we're saying.
And reply, it's a reveal to show how many colleges didn't actually want her. Oh.
Ooh, nice bird.
Replied so good. What the F is wrong with your mother? Reply, sounds like textbook narcissistic traits from dear old mom, and sis is the golden child, while OP would be a ye old scapegoat. They are who to blame for all ills. No context is the best solution for such things, and OP can rest assured that the cousins will likely tap them in the future for cakes and party planning. Poor Angie, though, she got slapped in the face with a dose of cray. And that is where that episode ends.
Nope.
That is where that story ends, but not the episode because we got
Oh.
another story.
My best friend always ditches us for her boyfriends, so I refuse to attend her wedding.
Oh, yeah, ditch her
Yeah.
on the day that means the most.
Woo, that's gotta hurt. Well, just a heads up, English is not my first language, and this will probably have a lot of grammar errors. It's cool. A little background is needed, so here we go. I, 23 female, had 3 best friends in high school. We were in the same class during middle school and high school, so we stuck together after graduation. I'll name them Kelly, Nancy, and Ellie. The problem started when Ellie got her first boyfriend ever. By the way, this comes from that one writer on the r/OK Storytime subreddit.
Oh, that means that this is one of our own, y'all.
Our very
this
own
is one of our own.
So treat them with some mother freaking respect.
Put some respect
Okay.
on their name.
That's right. Treat him so well because this absolutely came from our community. She was always a good friend up until that point. She would be distant from the rest of us, even ghost us when we asked if she wanted to go out. Unfortunately, her parents didn't approve of the guy. Mind you, we were 13 at this point. So she broke up with him and returned to her old self. That was the first time that she had acted that way, but it wasn't the last. Every boyfriend she had was this cycle. Starts with dating, avoids us, breaks up, remembers that we exist, and so on. We always called her out on this behavior, and Ellie would promise not to ditch us again the next time, but she never changed until her long-term ex-boyfriend. They started dating a few months after me and my boyfriend, now husband.
Nice.
That guy, let's call him Jay, was good for her. Was good for her. My family knew him and liked him. His family went to the same church as hers, so he had the parents' approval. He's certified.
Big certified freak.
Oh, yeah, by the streets of God. And at this point, we were 17 years old. Ellie is the youngest. She was 16. Jay was a good guy who always encouraged her to go out with us or is making double/triple date plans. Kelly also had a boyfriend. But Ellie would just find a way to cancel last minute or just not show up. In 2020, Kelly and I had a childish fight and cut off from each other, but I kept in contact with Nancy and Ellie, more so Nancy though. After graduation, we all kind of moved on with our lives. I started working, Kelly had her baby, got pregnant our senior year, and got married to the baby daddy. Nancy was also working a lot, and Ellie started a nursing program because she wanted to be a nurse.
So they're all the friends are just going their separate ways.
Going their separate ways.
But
still
it
close.
sounds like Ellie, so my understanding of what's happening right now is Ellie is like the problem friend that every time she gets a boyfriend just is a flake. Is that correct?
Yeah, and Nancy and Kelly, they're cool.
The Nancy and Kelly's cool,
But
they
basically-
all they've all spread out post college.
Yeah, the other 3, including OP, are like, yo, Ellie, why you always abandon us? And she's like,
Yeah.
oh, don't worry. I'll be good.
To be fair, like I feel like that's common when people get significant others. They you want to spend some time with your hubby.
That's true. That's true. But the three of us would always find time for each other, at least one movie night every month. Then I got engaged and Ellie and Jay broke up. They were still seeing each other sometimes, but never actually got back together. I asked Nancy to be my maid of honor and Ellie to be a bridesmaid. When I asked her, I told her that she would be walking down the aisle with my cousin. She agreed with my terms that were the following. If they got back together, she would enter with my cousin. If she got another boyfriend, she would still enter with my cousin.
Okay. So basically, like, regardless what happens, you're paired with the cousin.
Yeah, I think she's afraid of her getting boyfriend fever and
then dipping out.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't know that walking down the aisles necessarily. It's more of like a symptom rather than the root. Maybe.
Yeah.
But,
what do you mean?
Like, is she like, oh, if you get the boyfriend and walk with the boyfriend down the aisle, there'll be all these problems and all of these things where it's like.
But isn't she a bridesmaid?
She's a bridesmaid, yeah.
Well, but you're not going to walk the boyfriend down. The boyfriend isn't a groomsman.
That's true. Oh,
I think what
now
she's
I'm following.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
whenever they walk beside of each other down.
Yeah. So because when
The bridesmaids go with the
yeah. So
groomsmen,
she's like, hey, if you get a boyfriend, you better not flake because this is an important position, and I want you walking down that aisle with my cousin.
That's a good point. The last time I was at a wedding, I hurt myself while using Heelys. So you can guess
Heelys?
what age I was. Yeah. I was using Heelys on the dance floor.
Bro, what do you mean? We got
7.
some Heelys. Didn't we get some Heelys like not too long ago?
But they never sent me them.
You never got them?
I filled out the form.
No way.
They treated me like chopped freaking liver.
Dude, I got hella Heelys. I think I got
That's
like
true.
2 Heelys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably got his hoolies.
Yeah,
Size 12.
it was crazy. They spelled my name John.
Yeah. Dude, what a weird misspelling. They must be Bulgarian or something. So Ellie agreed to this, even joked about going out with my cousin afterwards.
Yeah. You're going to enter with my cousin, and then my cousin's going to enter into you. Hey, yo.
Whoa. It happens. Fast forward to 5 months before my wedding, Ellie starts dating a new guy from her church.
Okay.
At first, he looks like a good guy, but Nancy and I started to notice the pattern again.
Uh-oh.
The avoidance.
Uh-oh.
The cancellation of plans.
No.
The random disappearance.
No. She's going into the boyfriend bubble.
Where is she?
Take her out.
She's gone.
Oh, she's a goner. She's a goner. Sometimes, you lose a lot of good men and women to the boyfriend bubble.
That's true. It's sucked many a person into a vortex.
They do be sucking. They do be sucking.
Whoa.
All the new toys that they have suck features, So everyone's getting a little suck these days.
That's not where I thought you were going. We called her out on it. I'm reading this right now from my own hand, my own yellow-orange arms. Why did I say yellow? I don't know. But we called her out on it. Ellie said it was just a lot of pressure at church and the nursing program. Then she dropped the nursing program.
Okay.
She disappeared from her own
Oh,
school.
wow. She's
What?
bubbling.
She's committing to disappearing.
She is bubbling.
Oh my god.
Wow.
She's going to end up on some milk cartons the way she's disappearing like this. So she said she couldn't be a nurse, even though she seemed so eager to be working on it just a few months prior. The thing about the plans we made as a group was she would never call or text anyone. She just didn't show up or pick up her phone when we called her. I got worried about my wedding. I had this bad feeling about Ellie. So I asked Nancy to pry a little, and she did. Ellie was really thinking that it was just because she had a new boyfriend, he would be a groomsman at my wedding with her.
Yeah, freaking right. We don't know this guy. This guy could suck, and not in the good way.
Whoa.
He could suck in a bad way,
Ooh.
and we don't want him here.
Is there a bad way to suck?
In what world does a boyfriend of a a significant other of a groomsman or bridesmaid get automatically added to the wedding party? In
Yeah,
what
he's from
world?
church. He's from church.
The groom doesn't have any good friends.
Whoa. True.
And they hit it off instantaneously.
Yeah,
The first
that's
date
true.
they made.
That's true. In that case, that's the only case that I could see.
The people getting married gotta be saying that. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't even know him. She spent 2 hours begging me to change my plans, but at this point, my cousin had canceled a vacation just to be there for me.
Whew.
And nor me or my fiance knew this guy that she was dating. When I finally met him, he was super rude. Talked about how he didn't know my character or my plans when I paired his girlfriend with my cousin. I reminded him and her that she was single when she agreed to do it, even if a new guy got in the picture. At this point, I just wanted to get her out of the wedding party, but I didn't. I couldn't throw away 9 years of friendship like this. Apparently, she could. The last time I saw the guy was at my wedding a year ago. Now then, this year, Ellie just stopped talking to us, even Kelly. I even joked that it would be easier Kelly and I talk again and resolve things between us before Ellie realized that her boyfriend didn't like us. Her phone is always on his pocket. He knows when we're calling and just doesn't tell her. Whoa. He became the reason that she didn't show up now. He would take her out and purposely hold her until it was too late to go out with us.
Oh, so he's going hella controlling.
Yes.
Oh, no. Honestly, like at this point, I'm like, do I ever want to make plans with this person? They're so flaky.
And she's done this, like, it's one thing to do it when they were like 13 when they met, right? This is 9 years later. Like, I guess
big
they're
ick. Big
Very
ick.
big ick.
22,
Big
but still.
ick.
Ooh. Dude, who let the freaking dogs out?
Dude,
Riley.
good job. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that was fantastic.
Then Kelly finds out that Ellie was engaged to this guy. Yeah. She told Nancy, who told me. And at this point, the snowball just kept growing.
This is so bad that her life's over. Her life is
Yeah.
over.
Ellie made up 1,000 excuses to explain why she hadn't told us about the engagement, why we wouldn't be bridesmaids. Then she started to give different motives to each of us. She told
there are not going to be bridesmaids at her wedding. Oh, what other friends does she have?
that's the question. This is like the core four. This is their
the core. Ooh,
you know,
core 4 is a great name.
You know, there's a little like Sisterhood of Traveling Pants type freaking vibes over here.
The core 4.
Sam loves this core 4 concept.
Core 4. I know that's cool. That's kind of cool. The core 4, like that's fun.
I'm so glad I could be of service.
We should utilize this within our.
We can utilize. I mean,
who's core 4?
We've said that before.
Oh, dude, you're on a
Riley
roll.
Sophia.
You said the core 4 before?
Yeah, I've said the core 4 before, like more than.
Have you said that going through this door?
I
the
mean,
core 4 before.
I explored going through the corridor with more 4 before. You know. Yeah.
All right, that was great.
Yeah.
That tickled my brain in the best possible way.
Yeah. So back to this core 4. Okay. So she told Kelly that she wanted only people who likes the couple, then proceeded to say that Nancy and I don't like the groom, asking only Kelly would strain the dynamics of the trio. Then she came to my house. Ellie said to me that they only wanted married couples. Nancy is single, who had been married for a long time. I had been married for 7 months at that point. When I mentioned Kelly, she said, "Oh, you know how the relationship started. That's not an example of a marriage that we want."
Whoa.
That's not a nice thing to say.
Whoa.
I recorded parts of this conversation, got Kelly's number, and told her everything in a group call with Nancy, and we basically decided to not attend the wedding.
Oh, baby.
All that, and we think that we wouldn't even be invited if Kelly didn't find out about the engagement. To top it all off, Ellie's fiance convinced her to change everything she picked for the wedding and basically copied mine. The wedding happened a few weeks ago, one day before my wedding anniversary. One day.
Do you think I don't know if they did that on purpose.
It is possible it's a coincidence. It is possible. It is.
Yeah, I
one
mean,
day
like,
before their wedding would be completely
that would
obvious.
be on purpose. But wedding anniversary, I don't know if that's like
Could be an accident. But this guy also still sucks a lot. And
big.
not in the good way.
Sucks big time.
Big suck.
Big suck.
Yep, they booked their wedding a day before mine, quote unquote. My father said that the only reason they didn't book the same date was because they wanted a Sunday wedding and my anniversary fell on a Monday. By the way, if there's a day that falls on a day that ends with Y, you can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and listen to OK Storytime because we have new episodes every day. And if you just press play, 47 days of straight content, allegedly.
104.
Someone chat commented and said it was 47. We don't really know the truth, to be honest.
No.
Yep, they did the math.
Okay, but we are imminently approaching the end of the story. I think that we should just cut Ellie off. I mean, is that fair?
I mean, yeah, I feel like she's kind of.
Go
I mean,
look
it
on
sucks because she's. I mean, it seems like she's going into this hole of freaking despair.
That's
but
true. That's a good point. Good point.
you know, I think you kind of gotta let people live their life.
That's true.
Hey.
That's true.
Oh.
Ooh. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, let's get into this last part. So when I told my husband all about this, he said that maybe she's being manipulated and really wanted us to be there, but no one forced her to say the things she said at my house, alone and away from the fiance. She wanted to talk crap about Kelly, thinking that I would agree, that I would never tell her because we were on bad terms. I know we were right for not going. She did this to our friendship, but I guess I'm mourning the friendship now and having second thoughts about the whole situation. This girl used to say my mother was her mother too. I was the one who came crying. She came crying to when she realized that Jay would break up with her. She was the only one of us who never had a fight with the others. Now she has lost all of us at once. So, am I the a-hole for not going to her wedding? Close this out, Sam. Yes or no?
No.
Agreed.
No. Cut her off. She
her
doesn't deserve it. That's crazy.
That's it.
But hey, we've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed our time with you.
It's been a good time.
It's been a good time.
That's right.
So, if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
Oh, we love you.
And see you tomorrow.